YouTube, welcome to Herbie's Reef. Today we're going to do a tank update and I want to talk about some of the problems we've been having with our tank and the near crash that we had. We lost several corals this week. So I want to go over what I think happened and whether I think this product is good or not, and other possibilities. I don't know that Vibrant is the cause of my tank's near crash. Ultimately, I think it's probably a good product. I think that a lot of people should probably be using it, but for us, it did present some problems, and I'm going to go over why. So first, let me just do a quick update. We have purchased some new corals, and we talked about those on the unboxing, but we did a live sale from Frag House Corals, and we got some of these new SPS, and it came just in time because we lost some of our SPS. They did a rapid tissue necrosis, and within a matter of hours, some of our SPS that we'd had that were doing great just went away, and they had been encrusting and were growing well, and within a matter of hours they were dead. So that was really heartbreaking for us, and it was almost stressful that we had a whole order of 10 corals coming in a few days after that happened. But I think everything's going to be okay. It all has acclimated well. I think all these new corals are going to be okay. Some of my corals, as you can see right here, are not looking so hot, and I don't know that they will be okay. I hope they'll come back around, but it's not looking good for that guy. So first, I'm going to go over what I think happened. This all started right after I tried using this new aquarium product, that new to me anyways. It's called Vibrant, and it's made for controlling algae, and it's an all bacterial product, or mostly bacterial. I think it says 98% bacteria, and then there's some carbon source in there and different things like that. But it's supposed to be this miraculous product that kills algae, and it does kill algae. And the reason I put it in, if you can, I'm going to try to zoom in on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I have a tiny bit of bubble algae. Not bad, but just a tiny bit. I think I got a frag one day of some zoas that had some on it, and I put them in there being a new reefer and stupid. I just went ahead and threw it in there, and now I have it all through my tank. For the most part, my tanks keep it under control. They eat it. I have several emerald crabs. My foxface seems to like it, and when it gets big, they eat it. So I just have little remnants of it, but I'm just scared that at some point it's going to come back to haunt me and it'll be all over my tank. So I saw on a video that Reef Dudes did that the Vibrant was killing his bubble algae. So I thought, great, I'll give it a shot. These guys are big names, and they did it, and it worked for them, and it actually killed his bubble algae. And if you read the message boards, the results are great for this stuff. And so I thought, well, I'll put it in. It says it's 100% bacteria. It won't harm your reef, won't harm your SPS corals. And so I put it in. Well, what I didn't know was that it's very effective at killing algae, and they don't tell you this, but it will, if you have a really clean system, which I do. I typically have 0 detectable phosphates, 0 detectable nitrates, and the system is so clean that it went straight for my chaeto, and it killed all my chaeto. I mean, within a matter of 2 weeks, my chaeto had shrunk from this whole fuge was full of it. Let me come down here. So this whole middle compartment of my refugium was just full of chaeto, like to the top, and it melted it. It was down to just a thin mat on top, and the stuff that was left was just fragmented. It would fragment and just tear to pieces. So I took it all out. But by the time I did that, my phosphates had gone up, not terribly. They were around 1, and my nitrates had gone up to about 5, which I actually have been trying to get my nitrates up, and I'd like the phosphates around 0.03. And I thought, okay, but why did this happen? I started researching it and found out that the chaeto had died. Well, shortly after that, within a matter of days, these SPS corals just rapid tissue necrosed, and these are corals I've had a long time, probably 6 months, 8 months, and they had started encrusting, they were growing, they were healthy, and they just overnight, I lost everything on them. So I took them out, and it was that Solomon blue torp that was right here before. You can see the empty spot where I had it glued right there. And then we had a Hawkins right there where that new coral is. And that one had really grown. It had encrusted, it was encrusting on the rock, and it's a total loss. So I started thinking about what happened, and I started posting on the boards for Vibrant, and what they said is, no, it doesn't hurt your SPS coral, but the melting chaeto could have held all kinds of toxins, because the chaeto kind of works like carbon. It'll absorb metals and all kinds of stuff from the water. Well, when it melted, it released it all into my tank. And I think that's where the problem started. And I've had these torches for a year, and they grew from one tiny head to these 3 heads, and you can see just how unhappy they are. Now, there is another possibility for these torches. I have changed my lights, and if you notice, it's the top heads that are doing the worst. So they may not have liked the light change. I'm going to try moving them over to this little, this spot right there. That gets about 50 par. So I'm going to hope, and it actually probably gets closer to 100, but it's kind of under this overhang, so the par meter doesn't get the direct path of the light. And my par meter, it's not the best one in the world, and if it's not directly under the light, it doesn't really give you much of a reading. But I think that'll be enough light right there for those torches. And I'm going to see if they'll recover there. I've also lost this beautiful elegance I had. I think it's going to die. It's just been so unhappy since whatever happened. And if you look at it, you can tell. I mean, it's probably not going to recover. And it was so happy and so beautiful, and I'm a little heartbroken about that one. Actually, about all of it. I love those torches too. But we got to go on and learn a lesson from this. So those are the 2 possibilities. This one, I don't think it could be lighting, because I had never moved it. And this lighting over here, I've got these. They're still under the same lighting they've always been under. The par is not too high for them. It's about perfect for LPS over here, because I have this radion set way lower than this side. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is we are doing construction in our house, and we were pulling a floor up right before that happened, and it's possible a tiny bit of dust got in the aquarium, and I guess it is theoretically it could have killed my corals. I really don't think that's it, because I keep this aquarium pretty well covered. I'm pretty protective of it. I think it would have went straight to the sump, because any dust would have floated down through the overflow and gone to the sump pretty quick and gone through carbon. I find that unlikely, but it's possible. And I had stopped running my chiller, and I was just letting the temperature creep up to, it would get as high as 79.5, which I have heard is totally okay. But the type of bacteria that they think is responsible for rapid tissue necrosis grows much better in a temperature closer to 80 than it does in a temperature of 77. So that's another possibility. And I've started auto water changes. I can't think of how that possibly would do it, but that is another change I've made recently. So that's another possibility. I think most likely it's the Vibrant, that it melted my chaeto, released bad substances into the water, and hurt my SPS. So I don't think it's a bad product. I've put on the boards, even the guys that own the product or talk about the product all the time and love it, all agree that this is a possibility of what caused my problems. But ultimately, that's more the fault of my own for not taking the chaeto out. It doesn't say to, though. So I did recommend that they add that to their description. And that's one reason I'm making this video, is I want to tell you guys, if you've got an ultra clean system and you've got chaeto running, I would pull it out before you dose it the first time. See how it reacts. I'm choosing to stop dosing it. I don't think my bubble algae is out of control. I want to let my tank recover. I don't want to lose any more coral. So I'm going to quit dosing it. I'm just too scared now. But if you decide to dose it, I certainly would pull the chaeto out first. They say once you're down to the maintenance dose, that your chaeto should still live. And I would certainly keep an eye on my phosphates and nitrates and feed the chaeto, a little extra nitrate and phosphate if you are dosing it. And I might take out all but a small handful. So that's my recommendation on Vibrant. Let me do a quick tank update. I've been showing you video as I talk, but I'll tell you about the new things. This is our pink Floyd, and it has really decided to be happy in this tank so far. The polyps are out, and it's got the nice yellow color. I think it will turn out to be a beautiful coral. And this is our green slimer, which we've had, but if you look at it, it's finally almost totally encrusted this Frag plug, and it's starting to get another head coming off of it, which these are fast growers, but for me it's fun to watch. I love that coral. It's almost metallic green, so I really think it's beautiful. And I'm going to try to zoom in on this. It's hard on video with the lights and everything. I think that's probably too much zoom, but this is our home wrecker. Thank goodness it did not get damaged. I've got to get a gimbal or something to keep me from shaking so much when I'm taking these close-ups, but hopefully you guys can see it. Starting to color up, starting to encrust the frag plug there, and it's definitely got its polyps out and it's happy, so I'm anxious to see that thing color up over the next little bit. And then our Joel is finally starting to color up, definitely looking better. I'm anxious for it to encrust, because my understanding is once it encrusts the frag plug, after that you can expect the colors to come out. To the pink lemonade, which has always done well from the moment we put it in this tank. It's been a happy coral. It's got its polyps out all the time, all day, all night. But it's starting to grow. It's starting to encrust also. We moved this one, that's our forest fire, and we just moved it to make room for the corals that are more expensive and a little higher end. Although this is one of my favorite corals, it's not one of my daughter's favorites, so she talked me into putting it on the wall. And then we also got this new one down here. This is from Frag House Corals. It's their own name, and it's called a Moonshine Millie. And then moving left on the anemone rock, this is called Satan's Missiles. And we clarify every time these are missiles against Satan. We're not going to support any type of missiles that Satan owns, but if they're against him, then we're all right with them. The clam is doing well. He was staying shut for a few days during all this, and he worried me. His shell, I don't see any new growth right now, so I'm a little bit stressed about him, but he seems happy. I'm hoping he'll pick up again and be okay. I will be, of all the losses, this one will be the most heartbreaking if we lose him. I also have a shrimp that messes with him at night, so that could be the other potential reason he's not happy. I have a peppermint shrimp that every now and then when I come in at night, it's just digging into his shell trying to get it open, and I don't know what it's doing. And then the yellow tips from Jason Fox, and that's a new coral. It's kind of close to the anemone, but we're hoping it'll be okay because we'd like a colony right there. And this one's a Palmer's Blue Millie. We're hoping that'll take the place of our Solomon Island tort that we had there that was one of my casualties. And then moving over, we also have this new one. It's called a Frag House Corals Wishbone. And this one, actually, of all the ones we got, even the high-end ones, this one, I think it was only $30, but it's one of my favorites because it's got long polyps, and they move so much in the flow. I just really like the way this thing looks. And it's kind of I think as it ages, it'll become more teal, going from the pictures on their website. But for us, it's kind of a mint green or a lime green. I would call it more mint. I'm sure my daughter would say more lime. I always get in trouble for saying mint green, but anyhow, that's there. And if you look at our jack-o'-lantern, it's starting to recover. It's the only thing that actually looks better after this event. And I think it's because the phosphates and nitrates are up to just small levels. Right now I'm running about 0.03 phosphate and 5 nitrate. And all my LPS have really, other than the three things that are looking almost dead, everything else has been happy about that change. Look at my Duncans here. They are just wide open and very, very happy. They're reproducing. I don't know when I'm going to frag this thing. At some point I'm going to have to frag these lower heads off because they're not going to get enough light. But I can't make myself cut it right now. And then our gonoporas they have really liked the change in the nitrates. I've read they like dirtier water, and you can tell because as soon as the nitrates went up, this thing stays open all day now. And before, it was closing up around 3 every day, 3 in the afternoon, and it would stay closed all night, but now it stays open most of the night. Even with these clownfish, it no longer cares. It's like, I don't care if you guys are in me, I'm going to stay open anyways. And then we've got these hammers, and I wanted to ask you guys, what do y'all think? We've got 2 big green hammers, and they're beautiful, but should I go with just 1 hammer and add more room for SPS? Because this is in a highlight area. These have been acclimated to highlight. They don't grow very fast because really the lighting's a lot higher than what a hammer prefers, but I've slowly acclimated them to tolerate it. And I don't care if they grow real fast because you know, they're big already. But should I take out the duller green hammer right here and put more SPS in? Or is it nice to have the 2 green hammers, and should I leave them? So you guys let me know what you think on that. Let me know if you think the vibrant caused my problems, or if you think it was related to one of the other issues, or anything else y'all can think of. Let me know about that. I think I'm going to pause the video right now and give you a quick update of the Frag tank, because it's I've got a few new corals in there that we ordered from Frag House, and then I just turned on the light, so if my zoas are closed, you'll have to forgive me, but the zoas aren't new, and you guys will still get the idea. I've shown you a lot of these before on the unboxing, but let's go over everything that's changed. First, these are the new corals from Frag House Corals, and they are 3 SPS in front, and then there's 1 in the back. The 3 up front, 2 of them they gave me for free. This one, and it's called a Panama Red. I don't know what type it is. It kind of looks like I mean, it's got long polyps like a millie, but it doesn't really have the texture of a millie, so I'm not sure. And then this one's called a Mega Man. I kind of like it. I got that one for $1. It was a live sale, and they had a few that were $1. I've never heard of this one, but it's got a cool blue tip when the blues are on, and it has nice green on the bottom. It's got some polyps, so it's a nice little coral. And then this one's called a Purple Poison, and it's got a lot of green if you look at the base, and then that green on the mother colony kind of goes throughout the branches. So we'll see how this thing turns out. And then the back one is one I've talked to y'all in the unboxing about before, but I got a little excited when I was ordering and got into the moment, and I ordered that one. It's Manny Pack. It'll turn yellow later, hopefully. Right now it's kind of brown. They say that's normal. When you ship them, these guys turn brown. But it's a higher end Reef Raft coral. I wouldn't have ordered it if I had it to do over, but I had it on my list of possibilities. And later I decided I wished I hadn't ordered it. But we'll see how it grows out, and maybe I can sell some of the pieces of it. I think a lot of people really like it, and I like it. I just have so many corals that I'm running out of space. Then I got rid of the 2 huge bird's nest colonies that I had, and I sold those to the local fish shop. They gave me a good price for them, so I went ahead and sold them. So this is my last green bird's nest that I have. Oh, I have 2 frags, actually. I also have this frag. And then I had that pink one, and it didn't look so great, so I fragged it and cut it into the 2 best pieces that I had. And I'm just going to try to grow those out and sell them, but I don't really want them. So long term, I'm not going to keep them, but I'm just trying to get a little something out of them. And then this is my stylophore. I'm going to grow it out and constantly cut pieces and either give them away or sell them. And my zoas, we've got this Monty cap that we took out of the other tank, pretty big Monty cap. I've got it on a magnet, just used one of my Toonsy magnets and put it up here. And then I have this Hollywood Stunner. So we're going to let these grow out and sell some of them. My daughter wants me to turn on the blues so that you get an idea of what these corals look like in blue. So you can kind of see what I mean by these new ones. They kind of glow in the blue lights, especially this Mega Man and the Purple Poison. Well, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions about the tank, or you have any suggestions or any ideas of what happened, please let me know. We've just purchased our tickets to MACNA, so we're going to be going to MACNA, and we're excited about that. Maybe we'll get to meet some of you guys there. And if you're going, leave it in the comments and let us know. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.